Good evening, Philippines, and welcome to your continuing coverage of the first and only professional volleyball league in our country. This is the 2021 PVL Open Conference with the action coming to you live from the PCV Socio-Civic and Cultural Center in Bacara, Ilocos Norte. For us, your broadcast team, we are here in Mandaluyong giving you your action live on One Sports and One Sports Plus. After the Chocomucho Flying Titans were able to defeat the Signal HD Spikers earlier today, now we have the PLDT home Fibr power hitters looking for their first victory of the season against the Petro Gazz Angels, who on the other hand are looking for back-to-back wins. Hello everyone, my name is Mix Gomez, and for tonight I am honored to be joined by the one and the only Doc AJ Pareja. Doc AJ, good evening.
Yes, Migs, welcome to the panel.
Mhm.
So I hope it's a good match for you. But right now, it's another interesting game as we see PLDT looking to find their first win. Because if you're gonna see in our standings, time is of the essence for the power hitters. If they want to at least secure hopes of playing in the semifinals, they have to start going into the win column. Although Petrogas right now in the top four of the league, looking to extend or further cement that position with another win.
That's a great point, Doc AJ. Week number 2, match number 22, almost halfway there when it comes to the conference. And if we take a look at Jorel Singh, of course, and the PLDT power hitters, you mentioned they have to get themselves going. Their leader, Rhea de Maculangan, is there. But Coach, Doc AJ, what are your thoughts about this team, especially when it comes to their previous game? They lost in straight sets against Streamline.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of covering this game actually. So I really know how the power hitters struggled all throughout against a top team like Creamline. So Creamline had good blocking and floor defense, and it was quite frustrating for the power hitters, especially with their open hitters who were severely overloaded in that game. They only had one good start in the first half of the first set, as it shows in the scores. But as Creamline got its groove and put more pressure in PLDT, especially in their service formation, that's when PLDT really lost their groove in countering the offensive of Creamline.
I remember that they started off very well before the first technical timeout, and then Creamline just got it going and never stopped. As you take a look at Isa Molde, one of the young attackers of this PLDT squad, she has an MVP on her resume previously in the PVL Collegiate Conference, but alongside another attacker in Shola Alvarez, of course, these two have to be very promising as well here in the Pro League.
Yeah, as I mentioned a while ago, it was quite a struggle for the open hitters of PLDT, namely Isa Molde, Shola Alvarez, and Gerald Singh, but they still tried to make it work for the team. As much as it is, I can understand, I can feel for them how it was frustrating to go against the blockers of Creamline and to go against the floor defense, but to notch points at least for the team is something to build momentum on. Looking forward to this game.
None of the PLDT players scored in double figures, but as you mentioned, they were able to notch points. Isa Molde leading the way with 7 points, and Shola Alvarez, an MVP herself in the NCAA, now taking her talents in the pro ranks. There you see her on your screen. Doc AJ, etong ladies na to, of course, they're looking to bounce back. Ikaw ba, sa pagkakakilala mo sa kanila, how do you know that they have a lot of positives to still show?
Well, as you mentioned, no, they have their accolades already in previous leagues, and it's something that they would have to draw from and get more motivation and inspiration for this game, that no matter which teams are pitted against them, that they already have the experience and the playing time even before from their different leagues, and they've shown it in their different leagues before. So it's something to draw from for this game.
You see on your screen, Shola Alvarez, our very own Ai Tinsay was able to talk to her before this game. Let's listen in.
Shola, may tanong ako sa'yo. Kita namin yung confidence mo sa game. What keeps you awake and alert before the match that pushes you to be a consistent key player?
Before game po kasi, nasa mindset ko na po nun na ipapasok ako ni coach sa laro. Tapos po, parang ang naging mindset ko lang po nun is parang kumbaga ilalaban ko na 'to, parang gano'n po. Kasi parang wala naman na pong mawawala sa akin or sa'min kung ilalaban namin yung laro. So yun lang po yung bukod tangi pong inisip ko before the game na ilalaban ko na 'to kasi wala naman na pong mawawala sa'min.
What positive notes has the team taken sa lahat ng laro na napagdaanan niyo over these past 2 weeks?
Yun nga po ilaban na lang po namin yung mga natitira naming games. Kasi totoo naman po na wala naman na pong mawawala sa'min kung ilalaban namin yung mga laro po. And ano po, yung pressure po namin kailangan po naming bawasan. Kasi yun po yung dahilan kung bakit po kami nararattle sa games.
Thank you, Shola. And that is Shola Alvarez of the PLDT Home Fibr Power Hitters.
There you have it. Laban lang para kina Shola Alvarez, Isa Molde and company as the PLDT Power Hitters look to get their first victory of the conference against the Petro Gazz Angels. And of course, this matchup for Gretchen Soltones and company, it has to be big as well because they're gunning for back-to-back victories. They defeated the Signal HD Spikers. They're a part of the top 4 so far. Every game, as we know, Doc AJ is very crucial.
Yeah, it's definitely a statement win for the Angels because going up against Signal, they bannered the same colors, and for the previous leagues that they played in, parang sort of mirror image sila of each other. They're sometimes they're championship contenders, but there are times that they're usually the bridesmaid of the league. So maganda yung naging matchup nila, and Petrogas definitely a statement win to down Signal, which is a powerhouse team in their previous league. 25-22, 25-18, 25-21, and it's all because of the floor defense and passing of Petrogas in that game.
You mentioned the floor defense. Sino pa ba ang mangunguna dyan than the one and the only Miss Kath Arado, who has been decorated, of course, in her college career. You saw Ria Meneses as well for the net defense. A lot of talents in that Petrogas squad. There is Kath on your screen. She was the best player in the previous match.
Yeah, and they're standing here at 2-1, just coming off short from their matchup with Creamline. Of course, everything is still looking good for the Angels in this league. They have a really good floor defense in Kat Arado, and if I were the servers of PLDT, I would do my best to avoid serving her in this game.
Kath Sarado pa nga, kitang-kita natin sa graphics natin. 23 digs and 12 excellent receptions. As always, Kath Sarado has come out on top.
Yeah, 23 digs. That's almost one set of contribution of digs, and I'm pretty sure that PLDT has done their scouting report not to give as much balls for Arado to prevent the Gas Angels from executing their offensive. But if I were the spikers of Petrogas, I know that someone is covering the floor for me, and it's just my job to translate it into points.
And Kath Arado was also able to speak to our very own Aitin Sai before the game. Let's listen to that.
Kath, may tanong ako sa'yo. How did you decide to join the Angels? Nakakatulong ba na madami kang kasama dati na former college and club teammates mo dito ngayon sa Petrogas?
Doon talaga ako pumunta sa may marami akong kakilala para hindi na awkward, hindi na po siya, hindi na ako maninibago. Kasi yun nga, since yung Petrogas is family din naman talaga turing sa amin, kahit kami mga bago, madami kaming bago. So, winelcome talaga nila kami.
Gaano ka ka-excited nung nalaman mo na yung PVL nag-expand siya with new teams? So far, you have been ranking second in digging and fourth in serve reception in the entire league. Anong masasabi mo sa performance mo sa ligang ito?
Kahit naman nung college days ko, wala talaga akong, hindi ako yung player na laging tumitingin sa stats kasi parang mas more on tinitignan ko yung performance namin as a team. Kasi yun yung makakapanalo eh. Yun nga, laging sinasabi ng mga coaches sa akin na bonus na din talaga yun kung yun nga yung mag-rank 1 ka or makuha mo yung individual awards. Kasi syempre, parang end of the day, parang yung panalo pa rin yung hinahanap eh.
And there we have it, Kath Arado of the Petrogas Angels.
You said it right, Kath Arado still one of the top performers, especially when it comes to receiving and Digging, former UAP Season 81 Best Libero, and of course, Gretchen Sotones also helping out on that floor defense. Doc AJ, your thoughts on Gretchen so far?
Well, she really did step up for her role in the Gas Angels in their previous outing in versus Signal, and as one of the open hitters in the team, expected to be one of the best passers, and she is just that. She's second right now overall in the league when it comes to reception.
Gretchen Sotones also an MVP in her right in the NCAA. On the other hand, Rhea Dumaculangan, the leader, the ate of the PLDT power hitters. How important is she for PLDT tonight?
Very much important, as it pains me to see her struggle in the last game versus Creamline, that not much of the first ball is going her way, so it's been hard for Rhea to orchestrate the play for the power hitters. Not much involvement in the middle and the opposite. She's forced to set the open a lot of times, and Creamline was just all over the openers of the power hitters. So it's interesting to see what she will come up with in this game.
Rhea Dumaculangan, very decorated herself in Philippine volleyball. In the league so far, she is number 4 in terms of excellent sets per set, trailing Chisa, one of her opponents for tonight. It's gonna be interesting if the Petro Gazz Angels will be able to get that back-to-back wins. It's very crucial, as we mentioned, approaching halfway the conference. Lahat ng games natin, kailangan na may sense of urgency talaga mula sa players natin. On the other hand, Coach Roger naman, na-mention din ni Doc AJ, it's like every game is a must-win at this point.
Yes, definitely. If they continue with their losing streak, it's gonna be tougher and harder to secure a spot in the semis, because it's a short tournament, so every match definitely counts.
Now, there's one thing that I'm holding on, Doc, and it's just like what happened last week with Bali Pure and with Cherry Tigo. Anything can happen in this pro league.
Definitely. So that's what makes it more interesting. Everyone is here, so syempre, nagkakapaan pa yung mga teams, but at this point, they probably know what each team is capable of. So I'm curious how each team will counter each other's strategy.
There we go. And as we take a look at some players still warming up, sana wala nang blackout, just like what happened in the first game before the first service of the match. And the players as well. Doc AJ, one of the things that we have been talking about is the conditioning of the players. At this point, do you think they're nakapag-adjust na sila properly?
Well, it's probably a good adjustment already for them. The SNCs of each team must probably have been working ever since the start of pandemic.
Now taking a look at the referees on the court right now. Our arena announcer, Noel Zarate, is taking it away as he introduces the starting lineups.
Outside spiker from the University of the Philippines, number 1, Isa Molde. Middle blocker also from UP, number 3, Maurice Layug. Opposite hitter from Adamson University, number 8, Ellie Soyud. Center from the University of Santo Tomas, number 12, team captain, Rhea Dumaculangan. Outside spiker from the National University, number 14, Jorel Singh. Middle blocker from San Sebastian College, Recoletos, number 17, Joyce Santa Rita. And the starting libero also from San Sebastian, number 16, Eliza Eroa. Head coach for PLDT is Roger Gorayev. And now the starters for the Petro Gazz Angels. Outside spiker from San Sebastian College, Recoletos, number 5, Gretzel Soltones. Opposite hitter from San Beda University, number 7, Ces Molina. Middle blocker from the Far Eastern University, number 9, Rampalma. Center from De La Salle University, number 17, team captain Chi Saet. Middle blocker from the University of Santo Tomas, number 18, Ria Menezes. And outside spiker from the National University, number 19, Myla Pablo. Starting libero from the University of the East, number 8, Kat Arado.
Take a look at the starters for the PLDT home Fibr power hitters. Almost the same as the last match, except for Maris Layug, who's inserted back in replacement for Yeye Gabarda.
Yeah, so interesting that they're going to their original lineup when they started the league. save for Jarrell Singh, who is now solidified herself as a starter for PLDT. Over here at the Gazz Angels, same old faces for the starters. And what's interesting, it's a battle of the veteran setters in Dimakulangan and Saet.
Rhea Dimakulangan, number 4 in the league in excellent sets. Chisa at number 3. So it's going to be very interesting, as Doc AJ mentioned. We thank you for joining us here on One Sports and One Sports Plus. This is the 2021 PVL Open Conference, the first and only professional volleyball league in our country. The action is coming to you live from the PCV Socio-Civic and Cultural Center in Bacara, Ilocos Norte. And there's a good block by the number 1 blocker in the league, Ria Meneses.
Shut down on Layug but good effort for Dimac to engage the middles early on.
Chisa serving now for the Petro Gazz Angels, who are looking for back-to-back wins. So far, alternating ang kanilang kwento. A win, a loss, and a win in their previous game. Rhea, they go to the open. And Ellie Soyud will deliver for PLDT.
Yeah, and this is how they started with their match in against Greenline. Soyud was quite vocal in terms of delivering the points.
Remember, they won that first technical timeout. They were leading 8-7 before Creamline just continued pouring it. And here is Ria Meneses scoring from the middle. Myla Pablo now serving for Petro Gazz, a former MVP, finals MVP as well in the PVL. Rhea onto Molde, return to sender. Great net defense by Petro Gazz.
Quite difficult shot for Molde because they are out of system. The ball was low, and Petro Gazz had the time to establish their block.
Great performance on the defensive side so far for the Angels. Back set, Ellie Soyud. And that will not be successful for the power hitters.
There's a little too much angle in the part of Ellie. She had the right intention though.
A little bit too wide on that play. As we take a look at the replay, just missed it. Action continues. Kath Arado. Soltones now. Ball is up. Dimakulangan. Onto Molde. Another block by Petro Gazz.
Not the best start for Isa, but I'm pretty sure she'll find something up in her sleeve to at least challenge the block of Meneses. It's gonna be tough because Meneses is one of the leading blockers in the league.
So far, no, she's tallying the most blocks right on cue. 1.7 blocks per set. Good for number 1.
Yeah, 2 attacks already early on and a couple of blocks. So far, the start of this match is a Ria Meneses show.
Coach Roger will not even wait for the technical timeout here. 6-1 the score. What a great start for Petro Gazz.
So far, Petro Gazz putting pressure again in the passing of the power hitters. Probably took some notes from the game of Greenline.
And certainly in this league, no, Doc AJ, they're all in one bubble. I'm sure they're really busy in terms of their training. They're looking to find rest as well during their off days. But you have to do your scouting as well. That takes a lot of time.
The scouting is actually also should be part of the training. Like everything has to be, it's like a chess match for volleyball. So you have to know what your opponent's strengths and weaknesses and what would be their tendencies against your own strengths and weaknesses.
Non-stop volleyball here as we are in week number 2. Match number 22. And that time around, Ellie Soyud will score off the block.
Elisoyed, seeing that Soltones is the shorter blocker, went up for a down the line.
There's Maris Layug, part of the 2018 champion team of the UP Fighting Maroons in the Collegiate Conference. Every time UP wins, there's always a long streak that's diba, natatapos, and they're very, very proud of it. Petrogas once again triumphant on that play. 7-2 the score. Ria Meneses to serve. Former UST middle blocker, UAAP season 77. Best middle blocker. That's Ria Meneses. She'll set things up for Molina. And that time around, it's the net defense of PLDT prevailing.
Molde and Santa Rita all over Molina at that instance. Seeing that Molina didn't fully commit to her swing, so the ball was just gonna be not as powerful coming from her.
3-7, misreceive right there. PLDT slowly trying to build their own momentum.
And this is what they need to build on, is their offensive from the service already to put the Gazz Angels out of system. And that's just a big confidence booster for Soy to be able to get an ace or a shank out of Soltones, who was one of the best passers in the league.
Almost got another one right there. Ball in play. Arado put it up. She saw it. Oh no, that is a miscommunication, or was that a misset right there?
Ball was a little bit too high for Palma.
PLDT, consecutive points for their squad. Joy Santa Rita and Isa Molde enjoying the action. 5 serving 7. Saet gives it up. And the Makulangan. Unfortunately, that will go to the Petrogas Angels as we get to our first technical timeout.
After leading or trailing by as much as 5 points, if I'm not mistaken. Home 5, the power hitters, inching closer to that lead of Petrogas.
Back with our PBL 2021 Open Conference action here in Baccaray, Ilocos Norte. Petrogas leading the way against PLDT 8-5. Limakulangan on the back set. Soyud. Arado was there. She saw it. Did that go in? Yeah. Oh, no. It did not go in as the point goes to PLDT.
Retzel Soltones finding some little bit of rust here in the opening of the first set.
8-6 our score. Isa Molde. Saet on the run. And that does not go in for M. Palma.
Nice intention in the part of Palma.
Chisa, it did mention that there has to be some improvement in their passing and serving, but she is happy that there are variations in terms of their offense.
Yeah, it's gonna be easier for her because she has some of the best passers in the league in Arado and Soltones. So it's more often than not, it's gonna be always an in-system play for the Gazz Angels. It's just a question of if the hitters can actually kill the ball in one attempt.
Gretchel to serve, 9-7. Soyud from the back. And there's that quick attack by Rem Palma. Full authority on that play.
Rem Palma just using her maximum reach for that. And just going for a power tip.
Former FEU lady Tamarao delivering for Petro Gazz. Arado now. Side combination. Wow, what a play for the Angels. Myla Pablo.
So that's what we were talking about a while ago. Like Chisaet has some room for creativity because she can expect a good number of first balls going in the right position for her to be able to set up.
Just the overwhelming talent that she has on her squad. And this 6 plus Catarado, they have so much chemistry. I can imagine they're the starters consistently for Petrogas.
Good intention on the part of Jurel Singh. Not the best of set for her, but she made work with that by using the blockers to her advantage.
Here's Joy Santarita. Trailing by 3 here, the PLDT power hitters. NCAA best middle blocker as well in season 93. Jorel send it over. And there's that back set. Another attack from Rem Palma.
Rem Palma doing a lot of quality minutes in the front line with her stint, and that's what's expected of the first middle, is that she can execute a lot of running attacks or slide attacks.
A lot of experience on her belt. 4-time champion in the PSL. Now taking her talents in the first and only pro league in Philippine volleyball. Runner. Defense was there. Fultones to send it over. Almost scored on that play. Great block once again.
Yeah, especially if Ria Meneses is up front, that's when PLDT should find more in-system plays, because if Ria Meneses can see that it's always in shambles for PLDT, like the go-to option will be the open hitter, it's going to be easier to set up the front defense.
That is too long for Jorel Singh. Has been getting much action recently for PLDT. Just not successful on that play as Rem Palma goes back to the service line. See the block points, Doc AJ, 4-1. Ria Meneses has to do a lot of that. But I should clear this up. Si Ria currently is one of the leaders in the conference in blocks per set, but a lot of things can change as well.
Still progressing.
Rhea to serve. Saet onto Myla Pablo. Looking very comfortable and smooth on that play.
So far, Saet is taking risk with that play for Pablo, because she knows that even if there's 3 blocks against her, she can power her way through. It's quite risky because if she cannot execute that kind of play, it's going to be hard for them to establish their block if PLDT mounts a counter-offensive.
Rhea? Oh no. Set was not placed properly for PLDT as we approach our second technical timeout, 16-9 in favor of Petrogas. Back inside the PCV Socio-Civic and Cultural Center in Baccaray, Ilocos Norte, there was that error by PLDT in the previous play.
It's actually a beautiful set. Sayang lang hindi connect the form of Rhea in that set.
Di makulangan. Try to bounce back here. Jarel Singh, a little bit too long.
Once again, pressure on the wings of PLDT. And I can imagine because Rhea Meneses is up front, it can affect the mentality of the hitters, especially if they're finding some troubles executing.
Aiko Urdas getting her first glimpse of our action tonight. Former NU Lady Bulldog. Tipped over by PLDT. Arado now to set it up for Myla Pablo. Net touch here. I think she might have landed awkwardly, but she's good to go.
Ball a little too tight for her. Hard for Pablo to break her momentum.
10-17, our score. Aiko Urdas is serving. Former Rookie of the Year in the UAAP. Pablo, on the other hand, babawi naman agad para sa Petro Gazz.
Chisay, the veteran setter that she is, trying to build the confidence of her hitters. After one error, pinabawi agad.
That's crucial, for any player, makabawi agad.
Especially here in indoor where you're sharing the court with 5 other spikers.
Batarado unable to get that ball high up as the PLDT power hitters get their 11th point in the first set. Again, they're looking for their first victory of the conference. Can Marislayo and company deliver it tonight? Side goes to Meneses. That's good to go.
Nice adjustment in the part of Rhea. Ball was quite fast coming from Arado. So medyo mas napabilis yung approach niya, but Chisay, the veteran setter that she is, was able to adjust.
It's too sad that we can't hear see Coach Roger talking at the sidelines. Of course, it has to do with the health and safety protocols at the venue. But what do you think, Doc AJ, should be one of the huge adjustments of PLDT so far?
Well, right now in this timeout early on, he was directly talking to the libero, so probably giving her instructions to cover more court because she's one of the best passers in the team, so they can maintain being in system.
You're talking about Alyssa Ero, also a former best libero in the NCAA. Former teammates with Gretchen Sotones. They played beach volleyball together, right?
And I sometimes see her in the training venue where we do our beach volleyball before they went to the bubble.
It's great to see our athletes in action once again. Eli Soyud scoring on that play. We missed him so much. It has been a very long time, though.
So right now, Di Makulangan really engaging Soyud. She has the most attempts in her attacks because Rhea knows that Soyud is up against Soltones whenever she's rotating in front.
There's some substitutions coming in here for the Petrogas Angels. Ivy Perez and Jerry Malabanan from NU and FEU respectively checking in. It's going to be interesting how these ladies can come off the bench and perform. The depth din, Doc AJ, is one of the things na mahalaga, especially when it comes to these tournaments.
And Ivy Perez just showing that, sending the ball to her former teammate. Right off the bat, the service ace.
And she shows us her beautiful smile. Look at that. Aiko Urdas not able to get to that volleyball. 21 serving 12. Alyssa Eroa on your screen. Rhea onto Isamolde. Arado is there. Perez will go to Soltones. Great defense by Eroa. They go to the back row. Off speed. And there is a violation against PLDT.
A costly violation from them. Myla Pablos sending the ball a little bit easy for PLDT, but unusual error for Rhea.
And these errors have been killing them. In their previous match, 21 they gave up against Green Line. Almost a set in equivalence. As we take a look at Vera Guillema checking in for PLDT.
Probably Coach Roger trying to shake up the offensive strategy of PLDT. Probably differing tempo in the release of the sets.
Right there, set was too high for Santa Rita. Coach Roger obviously not happy about it. We're down by 11. And we're almost done with the first set, unless, of course, PLDT makes a huge run here.
Ivy Perez giving quality minutes in the service area with that floater.
Double coverage right there. Now at the back row. And they go to Soyud. Arado onto Malabanan. And Jerry Lee will score on that play as Alyssa Eroa cannot retrieve that anymore for PLDT.
So the double substitution for Coach Arnold proving to be a good choice. Ivy Perez putting pressure from the service and Jerry Lee Malabanan adding pressure from the right wing.
It's always great to see your bench players coming off and firing on all cylinders. Back row attack, Pablo, and that is gonna go in. The first set will go to the Petro Gazz Angels. Dominating fashion, 25-12. Their defense was great, and you saw the variety of their attacks. Bench players came in and contributed as well. Great start for the Petro Gazz Angels here in match number 22 of the PVL 2021 Open Conference. Take a look at some highlights of set number 1 here in the PCV Socio-Civic and Cultural Center in Baccaray, Ilocos Norte. Petro Gazz Angels, she's side, just able to utilize all of her attackers on the other hand. Rhea Di Maculangan and company struggled. They only scored 12 points, but of course, you can never count them out.
Yeah, definitely. It's high time for the power hitters to really dig deep, especially in finding their in-system plays. and at least to put more pressure in the defense of Petrogas. They were able to do it a while ago in some instances when they mounted their comeback early on in the first set, but the Gas Angels had their composure and Chisa doing a marvelous job distributing the balls to the team.
The attackers as well converting on their attempts. Take a look at that. 11-5 advantage for the Angels.
Yeah, and also that block disadvantage, and if I'm not mistaken, maybe 3 or 4 of those blocks coming from Ria Meneses alone. And it's still the unforced errors that's been the problem for PLDT.
That is a big, big number, Doc AJ. 9
Yeah.
errors in the first set. Remember, they had 21 in their previous game. Well on pace to beat that, and that's not a good sign. Second set of action in our match number 22 in the PVL. Once again, we thank you for joining us live on One Sports and One Sports Plus. This is Mix Gomez alongside Doc AJ Pareja at your service for our Filipina volleyball players. 1-0. Petrogas make that 2-0. Ria Meneses just tips it in.
Ria Meneses, 4 out of 4 attempts in attack. She's still 100% here in the second set. Just look at that reach. Look at that reach.
You can never go wrong if you have the height, and of course you have the skill as well. Certainly very engaging for Petrogas. As you see right there. Free ball here. And they go to Molina. Back set. That's Chinchin Basas seeing action as well for PLDT. And she will score. Former FEU Lady Tamarao.
Chinchin Basas stepping in to sub for Eli Soyud. And right off the bat, doing some work for PLDT already.
And that is Shola Alvarez on your screen. Sabi niya kanina, laban lang.
Yeah.
Walang mawawala sa kanila. In her interview with IE Pinsay, unfortunately, it's a service error for her.
Even if it's early on in the second set, when usually the service errors are not given a lot of attention, but in the case of PLDT, it's something that they should really avoid.
Those are free points immediately given to the opponent. Gabarda, a little bit soft on the attack. Molina now. And that is successful for Ces Molina, attacking from the opposite. Ria Meneses is back at the service line.
A similar start in her set 1. Petrogas leading early.
Can PLDT recover? And Chinchin Basa, certainly a good sign for PLDT.
Chinchin Basas unfazed by the blockers of Petrogas, challenging the block of her former teammate Rem Palma. She saw she was a little bit delayed, so there's a big gap between Palma and Soltones. And it's something that might be alarming for Coach Arnold later on if they don't adjust.
Chinchin Basas bringing her finals experience from the UAAP here in the Pro League. Tipped over, Chisa it now, and that is a violation against Petrogas. We're seeing some uncommon errors. Very uncommon naman yan for Rhea Di Maculangan and Chisa it on the double contact. There's Yaya Gabarda, former UE Lady Warrior. Ayan, Doc AJ, yung mga nakaka-proud, especially during the pandemic, they had their own initiatives helping out those in need. Yaya Gabarda, one of those people. As Molina will score, just using the right amount of force for that one.
Says Molina not trying to force the issue if it's not the best of set for her. But seeing that the block is not established, you don't really have to go 100% if you can just be efficient.
On the other hand, it's Isa Molde. Arado was there, but the second ball was not present for the Petrogas Angels. A little bit of a miscue.
First point for Isa, if I'm not mistaken.
5-4, PLDT. Slowly climbing back. Chance ball. Rhea On the run. Ball still alive. Chisait onto Soltones. And Gretchel Soltones elevates and detonates on that play.
Gretchel Soton is sending the ball towards her former teammate. It's nice to see former teammates coming up against each other in this match.
I wonder how, what Alaisero has to think about that,
Probably, I've done this a lot of times already before. Why didn't I get it now?
And that's a great tip by Paila Pablo. Great timing on that play. So slowly but surely, Petrogas holding on to that lead. Soltones serving again. Molde. Blockers were there. Great recognition. Ball still alive. Pablo. Great dive by Alvarez. Sent over by Basas. And they go to Palma. Great rally. Pisa Molde just finds that hole on that Petrogas defense.
Yeah, this probably could be the start of the spark plug for Molde and for PLDT in general. Her and Chinchin Basas doing a lot of the attack points. And if they can sustain it throughout the second set, then it's going to be trouble for Petrogas.
So Basas has been very effective. Unfortunately, Rem Palma and company getting that check ball on that play. They will take this lead 8-5 in our first technical timeout of the second set.
Serving for the Angels,
We're back here in Baccaray, Ilocos Norte for your One Sports and One Sports Plus's coverage of the PVL 2021 Open Conference Season number 4, Petrogas versus PLDT. The power hitters still looking for their first victory of the season, or the conference as I should say. The Petrogas looking for back-to-back wins. There's a whistle here and the point will go to the power hitters.
Probably net violation on Ria Meneses. A little too eager in the block.
Does that really happen, from time to time? Just the eagerness, no? Talagang
Yeah. Especially sa position ni Ria, which I can totally relate because that's my former position as a middle.
nakailang ka ba? Net violation, Doc?
Ay, countless. Countless.
But then again, marami rin naman blocks, of course. There you go. Di makulangan. To Alvarez. Great defense by Petrogas.
Biglang bawi.
Oo.
Or, yeah. Timing it better.
She might have heard us.
Yeah.
All the way from Ilocos Norte. And there's Chisai. 10 excellent sets. Distributing the ball very well. Oh no. Miscommunication for PLDT. Chance here. Pablo. Right amount of speed, right amount of force, just scoring at will for Petrogas.
Yeah, we haven't really seen a lot of those signature power hits from Pablo, Molina, and just doing some of these roll shots, tip shots. So they're in the flow for now.
But then again, they didn't need to, right?
Yeah, definitely.
At the end of the day, they're still both 1 point. Coach Roger, you have to wonder, the adjustments that they're talking about right now, Doc? You think, on your part, what are you expecting from PLDT in these next plays?
Well, right now, it's still, as long as the middles are not making some noise for the team, in this case, Gabarda and Villegas, we can somehow assume that the first ball or the setting up of the offense is not there for PLDT.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but even Joyce Santa Rita was
Yeah.
not able to get
Yeah.
her groove. No? So let's see if they can maybe get things going at this point of the match. And right on cue, Yeye Gabarda attacks from the middle.
So that's what PLDT needs to do a lot more, is finding those in-system opportunities for them to make a point.
7 excellent sets for Rhea Dimaculangan. We mentioned 4th in the league so far in the top performers. That is still progressing as the conference goes along. And there is a whistle here.
Another double contact violation called on Chisaet.
Kalmado lang. Kalmado lang. Petrogas so far mabilis makabawi when it comes to their mistakes. So let's see how they will perform in this next point. Dimaculangan to serve. Molina. Chisaet. Passes, puts it up. They go to Alvarez. One more try from the back row. That is good from Isa Molde.
Isa Molde looking good here in the second set at 60% efficiency, if my numbers serve me right.
Certainly bouncing back from the first set. Good sign. Silang dalawa, especially no pagkapasok ni Chinchin Basas, Isa Molde, that time as well. That's when she started performing great. Meneses, blocked. Arado will go to Molina. And off the block, off the deflection, she will score.
Says Molina with that cross-body shot. So her body was going towards the diagonal of the court, and just on the last second, pivoting towards the line.
How hard is that, Doc AJ? Pag, diba, nakaibang direksyon yung katawan mo?
It takes a lot of core control and thoracic.
Thoracic.
Yeah, thoracic area. Dun yung rotation eh. So,
I'm gonna need to Google that for a while. But yeah, Gabarda, we talked about the middle attacks of PLDT. Now it's coming alive.
and they're just 1 point behind.
Looking good so far. Shola Alvarez serving to try to tie things up. Additional error here.
A little bit of overlap.
And you can hear the PLDT bench. They're making some noise. They're very excited here as they tie things up in the second set. Can they pull it off though? And that goes off of Kath Arado. The PLDT power hitters now have the lead.
Probably their best rotation in 4 sets, counting their previous game. So this is probably this could be the rotation that Coach Roger can build on.
And Coach Roger has been experimenting on that lineup for a lot of games already. Ces Molina attacking very well for Petro Gazz. Ito na mga veterano.
Ces Molina had enough, and that's her signature power hit.
Nabati kasi natin, Doc AJ. Sinasabi natin, kalmado lang. And there you go.
And she's 4-4-4 here in the second set, 100%.
Rhea will go back to Yeye, and that's a net touch against Ren Palma.
So this is when the errors of Petrogas are starting to be more noticeable. Those double contact violations on site and the net touches for the blockers.
One thing we can notice as well is there are a lot of veterans in this Petrogas squad, but for PLDT, a lot of youngsters on the floor. And Doc, for you ba, when it comes to having a team with so many young talent. What does that say to you if you're handling that squad?
Um, it's always an adjustment if there are newcomers in the team, regardless of their age. Of course, with regards to youngsters, ano yun eh, experience plays a big part, especially in the professional league. But they make up for it with their athleticism right off the bat from their collegiate stint.
I wonder though, because of the quick timeline of this conference, no? And does it drastically help them that they have a young body dahil ang bilis ng transition and of course the training, the scouting, all the time, all the toll that takes for
Yeah,
them.
yeah, definitely. Because not gonna lie, when you're younger, it's easier to recover, and that's especially easier for the coaching staff to push the team further when it comes to their conditioning.
Let's see if PLDT can continue here, but on that play, Petro Gazz Angels coming out on top. Rachel Soltones and company. There is that experience, the composure showing off for the white shirts. A little bit of a stall here. 14 to 13, our score. That's Molina at the service line. Eroa gives it up to Molde. Blockers were there, but the ball got through. Isa Molde will score.
Definitely the set for Isa right now.
And there's that momentum that PLDT needed after Chinchin Basas came in. There she is. Isa Molde got her groove. Now we're in it for a tight one. Soltones. Di makulangan onto Molde. Ball up high. Arado gives it up to Soltones. He tips it over. Rhea. Back to Gretchel. Rally here. Molde tips it. Back throw attack. Myla Pablo. Still good. Isa Molde. It's her turn. And that does not go above the net. 15 to 14.
A little too much heat from Isa at that instance. But gotta give credit to Rhea or Chisaet giving the pipe to Pablo to shake things up because Gretchel Soltones has been covered by the floor defense.
Soltones serving. Di makulangan. Goes back to Molde. Tips it with the left hand. Tough angle right there. Chisaet gets it over. Back to Molde. Too long and we are tied at 15.
Ito lang yung danger for PLDT. The more that you're mentioning Isa Molde, it means that she's taking a lot of the responsibility in the attacking.
When you speak about responsibility, nakakapagod din talaga yun, no? You're attacking and attacking. And here she is again. Isa Molde on that play. Maybe she heard us as she performs very well on the attack. 16 to 15, PLDT with the lead.
A key contender of the UAAP opposite hitter of the PLDT home fiber power hitters Ellie Soyd shared to me how the team already communicated regarding the needed adjustments for their next match in order to move forward with more power and more fighting spirit. Sa payo ni Coach Roger na lakasan ang kumpiyansa nila sa sarili nila dahil marami pa silang kayang maipakita. Ellie is focusing on how to overcome the pressure given that the PVL now is a pro league. She said that what will strengthen her gameplay support is composure throughout the game, knowing that she is playing with the best of the teams and it's not the time to get rattled, but to actually enjoy this opportunity. Grateful for this big step for the volleyball community, the PLDT home fiber power hitters are ready to translate their strong external communication inside the court. Let's see them fired up against the Petro Gazz Angels live from Ilocos Norte.
That was our very own IE Tinsai, and surely the PLDT power hitters are fired up because they are in it for this set. Chinchin Basas providing the spark plug, 16 all-hour score so far, but the veterans of Petrogas slowly coming alive.
Petrogas taking back the lead from PLDT with those back-to-back points. And what I like about this squad is they look unfazed. They look unfazed even despite of the comeback PLDT is mounting right now.
Sometimes nga, Doc, I wish that there was a zoom-in camera for each of the players, no, mga veterano, showing how unfazed they are. Cat Villegas scores from the middle. There is that variety on the offense of PLDT.
Villegas joins the tally, and if I remember correctly, like Coach Roger really focusing on her in that timeout.
Former player of San Sebastian as well, Cat Villegas. Attack too wide for Myla Pablo. PLDT charging up here. Elisoyod and company being pumped up.
PLDT reclaiming the lead.
Villegas back at the service line. 13 to 11 attack points. Ria Meneses. Ball is still alive. Arado will go to Myla Pablo down the line. And that is out.
Myla Pablo having some struggles executing back-to-back attack errors.
What can you say about this PLDT squad performing at this level?
Yeah, it's because everyone is being engaged right now. It started with Basas early on in the set, then Gabarda maintained the momentum in the middle, and now everyone is really just more confident. Even Isa Molde playing her best set yet.
19 to 17, PLDT with the lead. An error right there for Petrogas. Now it's a 3-point lead. That is the first timeout called by Coach Arnold Nanyog. Petrogas Angels, they're telling each other to calm down.
What's happening is that what's happening to PLDT a while ago, it's happening to Petrogas right now, that their attack options are getting limited to just Pablo. So Chisat might consider engaging Sotones or Molina from the back row.
Which is the plus part, the big plus for Petrogas in the first set, the way she distributed it. Down 3 here, the Petrogas Angels, as they try to look for back-to-back victories. Can they climb up to 25 points first? Kalaban itong mga PLDT power hitters. Cat Villegas still serving, coming off the bench in this match. Arado. Perez onto Pablo. Great defense right there. Molde on the recovery. Shola Alvarez. It's a double contact. Another error for Petrogas.
Ivy Perez being brought in to sub for Chisaet.
PLDT now. Don't look now. It's a 4-point lead. 13 to 12 unforced errors. That's in favor of PLDT. And on the other hand, Ria Meneses coming alive. scoring on the attack.
Gazz has had enough of the momentum of PLDT, but still a considerable lead late in the second set for PLDT.
And this is the trust as well of Coach Arnold for deploying Ivy Perez at this point. Can she deliver? She did have a service ace as soon as she played in tonight's game. Over receive. There we go.
Just as you were mentioning.
The PLDT power hitters, Coach Roger now will call for time. Of course, this is a good chance for them to win a set. As you take a look at the serve of Ivy Perez. Over received by Isa Molde. And she apologizes quickly.
Coach Roger knows that if Ivy Perez can get her groove in the service, just like in the previous set, she was like 5 service runs in the first set alone. So calling a timeout already to break that momentum.
PLDT 4 points away from winning their second set of the season. Yeah, they've only won 1 set so far. So certainly a good chance here against Petro Gazz. Ivy Perez back at it. That is net touch.
Another net touch on Ria Meneses. Very costly at this point of the second set.
We saw the errors number a while ago. Petro Gazz committing more in this set. And of course, Rhea de Maculangan and company capitalizing. 11 excellent sets so far. Now it's a service ace, 2 points away from this set victory.
What a floater coming from Rhea. She had an intention in mind. It's not a good passing day actually for Gretschel.
Back to the Maculangan. Oh, this time around, it does not go above the net. 23-20. And Mendres checking in for the first time, replacing Myla Pablo to serve it up for Petro Gazz. And Mendres from the UE Lady Warriors, their leading scorer in season 81.
So quite the pressure coming off the bench.
Always the pressure for the service specialist. And on the combination play, Chinchin Basas. What a performance in this set for her.
Chinchin Basas started the first 2 points of the match or the set for PLDT and looking to close it. She wants to be the opener and the closer of this set.
Shola Alvarez will try to put it away for PLDT. Soltones. Perez on to Meneses. That does not go through. And the PLDT home Fibr power hitters win the second set of this match. We are all tied for match number 22 of your PVL 2021 Open Conference. We're back in the BCV Socio-Civic and Cultural Center in Baccaray, Ilocos Norte, live on One Sports and One Sports Plus. This is your first and only professional volleyball league in our country. the premier volleyball league 2021 Open Conference. We are all tied up. PLDT versus the Petro Gazz Angels. And certainly things are looking good for the black shirts in today's game. Doc AJ, ano nakita mo in the second set from both of these squads?
Yeah, the power hitters finally breaking off a 4-set losing streak with that win in the second set. Probably Coach Roger found the magic rotation that he's been looking for since the previous games. And what happened with Petrogas in the first set is what PLDT did. And Rhea Dimocolangan distributing the balls, engaging the middles more. Gabarda and Villegas had their own points when they were up front in the middle, and Chinchin Basas being the spark plug early and towards the end of the set. And over at Petrogas, need some sense of urgency, especially from the spikers, because Saet is trying to distribute the balls. It's just that the spikers are not executing.
That was a great point right there, and also the unforced errors. You saw that in the first set. It was a different scenario. Now it's 9-4 in favor of the PLDT power hitters. We're tied at 1-all in match number 22 of your Premier Volleyball League Season number 4, your Open Conference. Again, the PLDT power hitters looking for their first victory of the season, and then the Petrogas Angels, they are looking for back-to-back wins. Ayaw nila syempre na alternating win-lose, diba?
And every match is crucial for Petrogas if they want to still stay in their spot in the top 4.
Again, I mentioned match number 22. We are almost halfway there. So things have to be, more valuable at this point, as pointed out by Doc AJ. Myla Pablo right there on the attack. Can this be a set wherein we're gonna see na ito na full force na ang Petrogas Angels in terms of their ferocity on the floor?
Probably see more power hits from their triangle, Pablo, Molina, and Meneses.
On the other end, Gabardo just tipping it in for PLDT. So on the other hand, may kumpiyansa na rin ang power hitters on this match. As you can see, they're enjoying it. We're all tied. You can see it on the scoreboard. 1-1-1-1.
Yeah.
Make a wish, everyone. As that is Jeremy. Oh no, that is Myla Pablo scoring on the opposite side. So more power here, Doc AJ. You can notice it.
Yeah. Myla Pablo shaking off the rut from the second set.
Dimakulangan, back set. Basas is there again. She comes up big for PLDT.
So all smiles now for the power hitters.
Very, very interesting. Kat Villegas seeing more action here. Mention mo nga, magic rotation. Di na magic bunot. Magic rotation tayo for PLDT.
Yeah, because in their previous match with Creamline, lahat talaga pinasok na ni Coach Roger and still struggled in finding that right combination of players.
Every set, nagpapalit sila ng 6 players on the floor. That's Molina showing her dominance on that play. Great back set. Did that go to the face of Kat Villegas?
Yeah. Our term for that is corona, the ground, when the blockers get hit in the head.
And I certainly do not want to experience a Ces Molina attack straight to my head. Isa Molde. There you go, continuing with her good momentum from the second set.
So far, the team in general, 3-4-3 in their attacks.
There's Chinchin Basas, 5 points, 5 attacks. The spark plug of this game. And scramble right there for Petrogas.
Yeah, another net touch for Rem Palma. The ball was quite fast coming from Catarado again. So she had to rush with her approach. Just so happened she wasn't able to break her momentum.
Passes to serve. Over receive. Regalo para kay Kat Villegas. And also another good performer off the bench.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, that if the middles are more active in notching in points, usually the tide of the battle goes towards that team.
It's a big hat tip to Kat Villegas and Yeye Gabarda, have performed splendidly for PLDT. Another violation. That was a tough angle, of course, which he saw it.
Even for Gazz, that kind of play where the left side is rushing to the middle, quite risky, especially the blockers of PLDT are already bunched up in the middle.
Power hitters off to a good start here, and as I say that, it's a service error. I'm so sorry. My apologies to Miss Jinjin Basas. 6-4 our score. Says Molina. Ito na eh. Parang napapansin ko, Doc AJ, yung game pace nila, mas ano yung nagiging fierce
mas
eh, no?
intense na. Especially that hit from Molde.
Wow. Isa Molde getting her groove in. The leading scorer for PLDT in the conference.
Yeah, it's easier for Isa because everyone is already contributing to the cause. That the spotlight is shifted away from her, so the blocking of Petro Gazz is not too focused on her.
On the other hand, Rempalma scores on the run. Kita mo naman, oh.
Game face mode on for everyone in the Angels.
You know, they're all the way in Ilocos Norte. We're here in Mandaluyong, and I'm even getting scared, Doc. 7-5. PLDT has the lead. Return to sender, but it goes outside. So the PLDT power hitters will take the first technical timeout. 8-5. They have the lead. Back to our action, 8-5 in favor of PLDT. Looking good in the third set. Chisait onto Myla Pablo. Ball still alive, Di Makulangan. Passes from the back. Sait, Palma. Rally. All day from the back. And that will not go over the net. Blockers were there as well for Petro Gazz.
A little low in the arm contact of Isa.
Rempalma and company looking to regain their earlier great performance. First set ng match na to. And then, Ria Meneses. He was also surprised that she was able to score. But then again, good recognition from her.
It's that height. It's that reach.
She is so tall. Is she a good 6'1", 6'2"?
Yeah, I think 6'2".
How tall are you, Doc?
I'm 6'4".
6'4", okay. So still looking down ka pa rin kay Ria Meneses, at least, di ba?
Medyo eye level na.
Myla Pablo will score in the open here, tying things up. 8-all.
Myla Pablo, all business now in this third set. In the second set, medyo she's still taking her time when her approach.
Interesting how Petrogas can bounce back. From the back, Basas, Sultones, not able to get it up high. 9-8 Pldt, still tiling in here.
And this is probably what Rhea wants from her spikers, that she's having more options, even if it's from the back row.
So what she saw it experience in the first set, Rhea Dumakulangan is going through right now. And these two setters are battling it out. Two great setters in Philippine volleyball. Myla Pablo, also a great player in Philippine volleyball.
Myla Pablo here in this third set alone is already at 4 out of 5 attempts. So really looking good.
Still tied, 1 set each, 9 points each. I'm not saying anything more, Doc AJ. We're gonna enjoy this game as the Ria Meneses comes out on top again for Petrogas.
One thing they were sorely lacking in the second set is the blocking of Ria in the first set. Especially much needed right now when the confidence of the power hitters are at a high.
That's how she started, just blocking all over in the first set. Pasas, Arado is not able to recover on that play. 10-all to score.
Chin Bass is definitely the magic bunot of Coach Roger in this match.
Showing. Sorry, Doc.
Firing from all angles, from the right wing, from the back row, from the middle.
That's a great thing to have, no? For Coach Roger. Maybe something that they can carry over to the next matches as well. You mentioned must win all of the games. You can show promise as a young team. Why not in this professional volleyball league? Meneses down the middle will score.
So Ria Menes is finding a lot of success in those off-contact hits. And in our vernacular, it's called yung kinakalmot yung bola. But usually, yun yung confusing for the floor defense of the opponent.
That's why you can see the smile of Ria as well, no? As she scores those points. And then Petrogas now slowly but surely playing very well, building a 2-point lead. Question is, can they continue?
Good decision the part of Chisay to set a fast one to Molina at the back, seeing that Isa Molde was still out of system in her block.
Meneses. Eroa goes to Basas. Ball still alive. Sait onto Soltones. Great attack on the cross court.
So this is what we were saying a while ago, like looking a lot of power hits now from Petrogas.
Right on cue. There you go. Alyssa Eroa. Again, the former teammate.
Yeah.
The victim in that play. Over receive, Regalo, Soltones, back-to-back points. Timeout here for Coach Roger. So things are piling up for the Petrogas Angels. What has been working for them, Doc AJ, in the previous points?
Well, it really shows that they're more aggressive with their strategy right now in the third set compared to the second set where they were a little bit slow and sluggish with their attacks. But as we can see, Petrogas has the muscle, definitely, so they're using it to their advantage. That's their strength. They can out-muscle when it comes to the spikers, so that's what they're doing right now. PLDT, on the other hand, still a good performance from them. They're still in the flow. They just have to adjust to that muscle of Petrogas at this point.
The muscle, the game paces as well. Combine those. Here we are.
That's why Coach Roger was all over Alyssa Eroa at that
yeah.
instance. He knows that she's expected to find the angles of Gretzel being her former teammate. And regardless of how powerful a hit can be, the right positioning can beat that.
And you saw how visual they were in that timeout. As Gabarda attacks on the other end. Meneses. Di Makulangan on the back set. Chinchin Basas once again delivers for PLDT.
Chinchin Basas leading scorer here in the third set for PLDT with 4 points out of 6 if I'm not mistaken.
Boy, what a magic bunot as you mentioned, Chinchin Basas. Tuloy-tuloy lang kanyang magandang performance. Ito isa pa magandang performance off the bench. Yeye Gabarda.
Off the bench, already tallied back-to-back points in second set to maintain their momentum in the middle part. And right now putting pressure to cut off the lead to 2.
Gabarda back at it. 5 points, 3 attacks, 1 block, 1 ace. Yeye to serve. Arado, former teammates. Soltones explodes on the open.
Signature Gressel. Just hammering the ball straight into the middle of the court. Seeing that there's a big gap between the blockers. If I were Villegas, I'll really make a conscious effort in closing in the block.
And I even saw a stare down from Rachel Soltones. It's coming right now. Ooh, Chinchin Basas responding for PLDT.
And right on cue, Chinchin Basas giving the Gazz Angels a dose of their own medicine. A little delay also in the block of Palma.
She is now at the service line. Tony Rose. Saet on the back set. Ooh, great block. Isa Molde and Kat Villegas working together.
Don't look now, it's just 1 point deficit for the power hitters.
Tight game right here. 9 points, 9 attacks for the spark plug. Tony Rose, Chinchin Basas. Saet, back to Soltones. Ball still alive. Pancake save. Will that go through? And we're still good. Great effort by PLDT. Saet now on the run. Tipped over. Wow. And they are rewarded for their hard work on that play.
All defense and all hustle for PLDT. Nice to find a cover on Palma with that runner.
And that ties things up. 1 set each, 15 points apiece. Chinchin Basas looking to win over to the second technical timeout for PLDT.
And one major difference the PLDT did in this game so far compared to their previous game is to use a more modern style of rotation where it's the first open directly serving after the setter, which is one thing they didn't do in their creamline game. So it's working a lot for them right now.
That's the magic rotation that we were talking about. Soltones, Rhea, Isa. Return to center. Great net defense by Rem Palma and Petro Gazz. They get the lead back 16 to 15. Our second technical timeout of the third set. Take a look at the Ilocos Norte Apayao Road. Very beautiful here, Doc AJ. A lot of people, of course, enjoying the sights. Makakapag-hiking kaya tayo dyan.
Well, we were just there actually a couple of months ago for the beach volleyball bubble training, but we were in Pagudpod, like at the most northern tip of Luzon. So, hoping we can come back at least for a tournament now, not a bubble.
It's so beautiful. Alam mo yung last scene, yung kay Vin Diesel and Paul Walker,
Yeah.
Naghiwalay sila.
Yeah,
Parang dun
parang
eh, no?
ganun.
Fast and the Furious. Oh my gosh. I miss Paul Walker though. Anyway, back to our action. 16 to 15 our score. Petrogas regaining the lead. Or they have been, in control for most of the match, of course. But that second set, we saw PLDT just stepping up to a higher level of play, and it has dominoed in this third set.
So far, after a 4-point lead by Petrogas here in the middle of the third set, but Chinchin Basas and Isa Molde and company have something different in mind.
Some discussion here. A while ago, nakita natin nag-blackout saglit eh, no?
Hopefully it doesn't happen again.
Oh, that was a very funny moment kanina in the first game. Just before the first serve of the match, biglang namatay yung ilaw. Di ba? Can you imagine everyone so excited for the action? And even Boom and Tito Mosey were surprised. But everything is good there in the PCV Socio-Civic and Cultural Center, Baccaray, Ilocos Norte. Again, you are catching this live on One Sports and One Sports Plus. Biggs Gomez at your service for this game alongside Doc AJ Pareja. Match number 22 for your PVL Open Conference, season number 4 for 2021.
Coach Arnold deploying the double substitution in Ivy Perez and Jerlyn Malabanan once again. It worked for them in the first set.
Sabay din pinasok.
And exactly the same service ace coming from Ivy Perez.
Was that the third or the fourth? And nevertheless, she has been performing very well at that line. 17 to 15, Ivy Perez. Coming up big off the bench. Unfortunately, Doc AJ, mukhang nabate.
It always happens. Always happens.
It's true though, she has been doing well at the service line before that. 2 block points each for this set. Petrogas up by 1. Molde serving. Perez will go to Malabanan. Blockers were there, and that goes outside in favor of Petrogas.
Similar to how Jerry Lee started a while ago when she was brought in.
Can Petrogas continue here? Gretchen Sotones to serve. Rhea. That's Shola Alvarez. Malabanan on the other side. Back set. That goes to Molde. Ball is still in play. Pablo on the cross. Oh, andun si Eroa. Oh, Shola Alvarez was not able to get to that ball, nor her teammates. Palma, you see that smile?
Yeah. Quite a difficult wall to overcome for Shola with the former Tamaraos, Malabanan and Palma. Petrogas perhaps with their tallest front line now. And they need that if they want to continue their momentum.
Jorel Singh seeing action once again. She started in this match. Di makulangan, they go to Villegas. Arado was there. Sultones for a chance ball. They go on the run. Villegas, that is wide.
But it's a check ball.
The point goes to PLDT.
Villegas finding the blockers, just hitting off the hand.
She's the third person off the bench who has been contributing very well alongside Basas and Gabarda. Arado. Perez. Malabanan. Tips it over. Dimakulangan on to Jorel Singh. And no more recovery for Petrogas. Lead down to 1.
So the caution built up by Petrogas now being eaten away by PLDT.
We're going back and forth here in the third set. Doc AJ, how can you explain this? What's happening here with these two teams?
Well, right now both teams have so far equally distributed balls when it comes to their attack, and everyone's contributing. So just with this numbers alone, we can assume that both teams are toe to toe.
But that was your comment in their first two sets, no? Kung saan nagkulang yung PLDT in the first set, nagkulang yung Petrogas in the second set. Both of them doing fairly well in this third set.
Yeah.
And here we are. It's a 1-point game, ladies and gentlemen. Volleyball fans watching the first and only professional volleyball league in our country. This is the 2021 PVL Open Conference. Jarrell Singh able to recognize that ball and track it down very well, tying things up at 19.
Been an unusual struggle for Catarado to put the ball in system throughout this match.
We talked about her in the pregame. She was a top performer in the previous game. Let's see if she can bounce back. 40 to 50, the excellent digs. Myla Pablo, wow, rising up for that play.
And that angle by Myla.
Take a look at that replay.
What a set.
Elevates.
What a set also from Chi. And that wrist away by Myla.
And not a single smile.
Yeah.
Not a single second of a smile from Myla Pablo. Jarrell Singh. It's a free ball here. They go to Pablo again, but Eroa was there. Back row. Meneses on the run, and she will score. Ria Meneses coming up big against Jorel Singh. Was not able to cover that ball. Timeout here for Coach Roger. 4 points away from losing this set. PLDT. Ano yung expect mo, Coach AJ? Doc AJ.
Well, a while ago they were able to really make a comeback. Petrogas would lead by 3 or 4, and PLDT will catch up and take the lead. And at this point, we're seeing more aggressiveness from the spikers of Petrogas. So double time for the blockers of PLDT, especially with Gabarda closing in the gaps.
19 to 21. Coach Roger Goreb looking for their second set victory in tonight's match. They were able to win set number 2 after a great start by Petrogas. It was a 25 to 12 first set in this match. Serving now, Rem Palma for the Angels. This receive. Chance ball. Chisa it back to Meneses. That has worked a while ago.
Ria Meneses, the missing factor in second set, now showing that she's the X factor for Petrogas.
And every time she gets a chance to just attack, more often than not, it has been working for the Petrogas Angels.
Yeah, in this set alone, she's 4 out of 5 attempts.
There you go. Very efficient, 80%. Oh, walang calculator yun. Madali lang naman yun eh. 19 to 22. Petrogas with the lead. They have the service right now. It's Rem Palma. Di makulangan. Goes to Singh. Blockers were there. Goes outside. The point goes to PLDT.
Jarrell Singh using Chisa, it's blocked to her advantage. Of course, if I were Jarrell, I wouldn't be smashing straight into the cross court if Ria Meneses is in my pathway.
It takes extra effort for Jarrell Singh because of the height disadvantage.
Yeah.
No? Basas. Blockers were there. Scramble here. They go to Singh, and that's a net touch against Petrogas.
It's those errors and it's happening at a crucial moment for Petro. But gotta give credit to Jarrell Singh. She saw an opportunity. Ria Meneses wasn't able to establish her block, so going to her signature power cross court.
You mentioned the errors. That's where Petrogas also lost in the second set, 4-9. It went in favor of PLDT. (21-22). PLDT is down. Ria Meneses will increase the lead to 2 points. Great attack.
Ria with that hammer.
So that's 5 out of 6. Am I correct?
Out of 7.
Out of 7.
So ilang percent yan?
Okay, give me 10,000 minutes to solve that. 20 excellent sets for Chisait. They go to the combination play. Ball still alive. Harado will give out a chance ball. Rhea, back set. No recovery for Jurel Singh. Petrogas now at set point.
Good decision in the part of Dimakulangan. But Myla Pablo just reading that well.
So now Petrogas will look to capitalize on 3 set points. Serving is their setter, Captain Chi. Jurel Singh. They go to Basas. Myla Pablo. And that goes inside. The Petrogas Angels will get set number 3 of this match. Pushed down the wire by the PLDT power hitters. What a great matchup we're seeing here in the PVL 2021 Open Conference. Set number 3 belongs to the Petrogas Angels here in the PCV Socio-Civic and Cultural Center, Baccaray, Ilocos Norte. Back and forth we went. PLDT certainly gave Petrogas a good scare, but in the end, Ria Meneses and company were able to come out on top. Doc AJ performing very well using their experience.
Yeah, PLDT actually did well in this third set relatively to their previous performances. Better ball distribution. It's just that towards the end, they were outmuscled by the power hits of Petrogas. And over on the other side, Petrogas, excellent ball distribution once more. Minimal errors in the attack, but it's the errors when it comes to double touches and net touches that actually provided some points also for PLDT.
That's going to be very interesting. A stat that has been varying in tonight's match. It usually leads to the one, of course, winning the set. Here are our statistics for set number 3.
So as you can see, almost close with regards to attacks. Just a little bit more power or a little bit more muscle on the side of the Gazz Angels. And PLDT also finding some aggressiveness in their blocking compared to the previous sets. It's even if Gazz Angels had a little bit more errors, they were able to make up for that with their attacks.
18-15 in that department for Petrogas as they try to close this one out. They're up 2-1. Again, the Angels are looking for back-to-back victories. 2-1 so far in this conference. On the other end of the floor, the PLDT power hitters still looking for their first victory. 0-4 is their standing. Now we are at match number 22, approaching halfway of the 2021 PVL Open Conference. Again, thank you for joining us here on One Sports and One Sports Plus. Mix Gomez at your service alongside the one and the only Doc AJ Pareja. The action coming to you from the PCV Socio-Civic and Cultural Center, Baccaray, Ilocos Norte. And they go back to Ria Meneses, who has been very, very good for Petrogas.
Not a good sign for PLDT if Meneses continues her momentum.
Myla Pablo serving now for the Angels. Jorel Singh, Arado was there comfortably. Soltones, wow, great tip in off speed. Talagang nilagay lang.
Sometimes you have to throw in a wrench and shake things up a bit because PLDT has been, or Eliza Erawa has been doing good in digging the power hits.
Oh, she already readied herself for those Soltones hits, no? After Coach Roger got to her. And then on the other end, there you go, PLDT. Yaya Gabarda still performing.
So far, if the sets to Gabarda that allows her to, again, pivot her body for a crossbody quick attack towards zone 1, that's where she finds a lot of success.
Ces Molina. Dimakulangan. Back row attack. Molde was there. Pablo gets it. And here's Soltones. Rhea onto Jorel Singh. That is too long. Outside.
Mistimed the timing for Jorel Singh. She was way underneath the ball.
Meneses back at the service line from Malolos, Bulacan, product of UST. So this is it. Is this the closing set for Petro Gazz, or can PLDT continue to shine for their coach and for their fans out there? Meneses, they go to Molina. Dimakulangan onto Jorel Singh. Blockers were there. Sait. Back to Soltones. Great attack.
That power. Even if touched by the block. Ball bouncing way towards the end of the court.
And Gretchen Soltones, time and time again, has come up big for her teams. I mentioned the former MVP. And here's Ria Meneses, 15 points, 11 attacks, 4 blocks. Great performance so far. Jorel Singh on the opposite side does not get through. And it's another point for Petro Gazz, who are building their lead in the fourth set.
Yeah, this is the match that PLDT has been playing their best so far, so they have to have a sense of urgency here in the fourth set. Alvarez being brought in back for Singh.
Shola played most of this game after subbing in. She was one of the catalysts in that set 2 win. Timeout here by Coach Roger. They've only scored 1 point so far in this set. What has been missing for them?
Yeah, so far that lone point coming from Gabarda with a quick attack. And once again, their first ball not going to the position that is conducive for Rhea to set up a good offensive strategy, making it easy for the Gazz Angels to set up their defense, their block.
Petro Gazz, on the other hand, we mentioned the variety that they have in their offense, which Chi Sait takes in the light of. And we're seeing it in full effect once again in the fourth set. Can the PLDT power hitters recover here? Down by 5 as they try to survive this match and force a fifth set. Ria Meneses back to serve for Petro Gazz. That's Niza Viray, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's from Petro Gazz, so Rem Palma will score for the Angels here.
Finally a point from Rem. Quite silent in the previous set and the set before that. But if she can also get things going back when she did in the first set, then it's going to be easier for Petro Gazz to seal the deal.
Meneses will serve here 41 to 35. Excellent receptions. That is the tally. Great attack again by Chinchin Basas, getting the second point for PLDT in the set.
Much needed momentum breaker for the power hitters.
How can they deliver here? Shola Alvarez now start things off. A youngster at 23 years old. Great block by PLDT. Now they go back to Basas. Ball still alive. Arado will go to Soltones. Wow, return to sender. Great defense by Yeye Gabarda.
Gabarda giving quality minutes as soon as she was brought in and blocking none other than Gretzel Soltones.
It's always, a great thing to see having these players. When we cover their breakout games, seeing them perform very well. She didn't get much playing time as well when she was in UE.
But right now, another error for Gretzel. Ball was way tight into the net.
7-4 the score. PLDT slowly nagpaparamdam na naman. And that's one good thing here na hindi sila nagpapabaya, no? They're really fighting. Again, sabi nga ni Shola kanina, laban lang. Ces Molina will score on that play. First technical timeout for set number 4. Petro Gazz with the lead, 8-4. You're seeing Kath Arado on your screen. 17 excellent digs in this match. She was the best player in the previous game. And Doc AJ, an impressive thing about Kath, my 2 years of coverage with her, she just plays, very inspired volleyball every time. Kasi talaga, yung pagmamahal niya para sa kanyang pamilya, especially her little brother, it fuels her every time she steps on the court. And it has certainly reflected very well in her volleyball career. On the other hand, Yeye Gabarda, her former teammate, has been playing very well for PLDT. Now the lead is down to 3.
Yeah, Catarado, she's one of those players who just makes it look easy.
I can never forget those times when there were power hits from players like CC Rodin.
Yeah, and
then
she'll just be there.
And she was smiling while she gets the dig. 9-5, Gretchen Sultones. Basas will give out a chance ball. Saet on the run. Blockers were there. PLDT still holding on. Lead down to 3.
Modek contributing with the block. Nice read. 1-on-1 against Ren Palma.
Napatingin pa the last second. Kulang na lang may kindat. But you certainly can't do that against the veterans that you're facing. Attack is wide for Myla Pablo. Another point for PLDT.
Myla Pablo way underneath the ball. An awkward angle for her.
Chinchin Basas and company will try to trim the lead down to 1. Unfortunately, it's a service error that brings Petrogas to 10 points.
Right PLDT is spiking okay at this set. It's just those service errors that's limiting them from tying the game against Petro.
And masakit yun eh, no? Kasi momentum breaker eh. Consecutive points before that one. Isa Molde. That will go to the Petrogas Angels. It's too high for Isa.
Too much heat coming from her attack.
Arislayo, go on your screen. Started in this match. But the other middles have been performing, as we have talked about. Another error here, as the PLDT power hitters get their chance. Once again, down by 3, Isa Molde. Chisaet. Look to tip it over. Di Makulangan goes to Alvarez. And she scores down the line.
Great read by Shola Alvarez. Chisaet was not established in her block. And just a clean down the line hit coming from Alvarez.
Shola Alvarez, product of JRU, brought them to the Final Four in the NCAA. Now taking her talents to the first and only professional volleyball league in the Philippines. On the other end, bawi naman sa down the line, Myla Pablo.
Showing what she's made of. Another cross-body attack.
There it is, sharp on that play, just finding a huge space to attack. Chisaet with 24 excellent sets. Serving. Di Makulangan, they go to Alvarez. Blockers were there, great job again.
Hard to challenge. Petrogas with their tallest front line right now.
Take a look at the replay. Alvarez against Meneses and...
The ball was still high, enough to be able to cover it.
Timeout called here again by Coach Roger. Down by 4. Trying to get their another push to try to reach a 5th set in this match. To remind everyone, Choco Mucho was able to win earlier today against the Signal HD Spikers in straight sets. Still undefeated alongside the Creamline Cool Smashers. Silang dalawa, wala pang talo. Following them in the standings, Cherry Tigo, and then Petrogas. Bali Pure is also there, knocking on the door.
If I remember correctly, we have a triple tie for the 4th place, for the 4th spot. Yeah, triple tie.
It is going to be very interesting as we approach the second half of the PVL 2021 Open Conference. Service error here. Off the timeout, Chisaet apologizes.
Good judgment in the part of Eroa.
3-point lead. Catillegas and company looking to climb back. Oh, Myla Pablo just puts it away.
Just at all.
Kahit tayo napatigil for a while eh.
Yeah, but it's a good decision for Rhea because Shola Alvarez, the shortest of the blockers, is left for Pablo to challenge.
Fortunately for Myla Pablo, a service error. So back and forth. We're back with Rhea de Makulangan. 24 excellent sets on her side. So makalapit lang ang numbers nila ni Chisaet and Shola Alvarez. Gets that one to go.
Once again, a hard float coming from Di Makulangan, proving too much for Soltones.
PLDT knocking on the door, down by 2. Rhea back at it. Arado. Saet onto Molina. Passes was there. Di Makulangan will go to Chin Chin. Arado recovers it. And it goes out. Sayang. But great effort still from Kath Arado and company as the lead is trimmed down to 1. Petrogas holding on to that lead as Coach Arnold, Lanyog and company would talk things out. Doc AJ, it's going to be very interesting how Petrogas can close out in this match.
Yeah, so far, PLDT putting more pressure for Petro, especially from the service line. A little bit of trouble for Chisay to establish their offensive. As we can see, if my number serves me right, Palma and Meneses have been quite silent in the attack department in this fourth set.
Maria started off with the first point. And then so far, medyo hindi na nga natin naririnig. Alright, 14-13. Petrogas with a 1-point lead. Can they close this one out or can PLDT force a 5-setter? The potential third 5-setter in this conference. It's funny how when you think about it, nangyari lang yung dalawang yun in one day. No?
Yeah.
Back to back. Shout out to Mela Tunay once again. And Saltones will get that one to go. Gretchel back at it again, building up a 2-point lead.
Okay, finding the gap. He's going for a roll shot.
I wonder kung may naging conversation between Gretchel and Eliza before the match. No, na, isihan mo lang, te. Yung mga ganun.
Yeah, for sure, that always happens. Another error in the part of the middle. Palma called out for an overreach. Just can't seem to find separation from the power hitters.
The lead is 1. Potential to tie here. Shola Alvarez to serve. Arado, Sait, they go to Soltones. Recovery. Di Makulangan, good effort. Pasas. They go back to Soltones. And that does not go above the net. Blockers were there as well. Great job by PLDT.
Salton is getting much of the pressure right now for Petro in this fourth set.
We're tied. Doc AJ, again, going down the wire, just like in set number 3. Dumikit talaga, no, before Petrogas had the last couple of points to close that one out. Side, back sit. Great attack by Ces Molina. That brings us to the second technical timeout of set number 4. Petrogas with the lead. And of course, the games on July 28th as the PVL continues. Cherry Tigo versus Santa Lucia, 3 p.m. tomorrow. Do not miss that as the crossovers look to solidify their spot in the Final Four in the semifinals as we reach the second part of the conference. Bali Pure against Creamline. Again, do not count out those Bali Pure water defenders who beat Cherry Tigo in 5 sets last week. On the other hand, the Creamline Cool Smashers, they're on a 24-game winning streak, so they're looking good, as we know. Back to our action here. Petrogas with a 1-point lead off the second technical timeout of set number 4, and they are looking good, enjoying the action. Up by 2 now.
Palma finally smiling again. And once again, Ivy Perez and Malabanan showing it a good decision for the double sub.
So can Ivy Perez come up big once again on the service as she puts it up here. Ball return. Di makulangan. Combination. Isa molde in full effect.
Isa Molde preventing the Gazz Angels from pulling away.
Great play from behind. Scott Arado was not able to get there. She dives for it though. The floor does look like water, so Catarado, she's known for that. All her heroics when it comes to the floor defense. Perez onto Sordones. What an attack, and it goes inside.
With authority from the veteran.
Take a look at it. Sordones elevates and detonates on that play.
Gotta give credit also to Rem Palma for drawing one of the blockers, so it's not a triple block against Gretzel.
Pldt now, Basas, the off speed. Malabanan to tip it over. Di makulangan, back set. Tony Rose. Ball still alive. Chance ball. Di makulangan, back to Basas. Arado was there. Great rally. Pablo rejected. But it goes in though, so she will score.
Pablo just sealing it, but Cat Arado doing Cat Arado things with those consecutive power hits from Basas.
That's what she's known for. We mentioned the great floor defense that leads to their offense as well. 19 serving 16. Di makulangan onto Isa Molde. Great recovery. Myla Pablo down the line. That is in.
Signature Myla Pablo, but again, gotta give credit to the floor defense now. Gretzel Soltones with that dig.
There's Myla. Sakto sa linya.
Yeah.
20-16. 5 points away for Petrogas. Si Makulangan, Villegas, Arado was there. Back set, Malabanan tips it. Rhea onto Shinchin. Basas, blockers were there. Great job by the Angels.
What a time for the defense of Petrogas to come alive, be it in the front line or the back row.
Take a look at that replay. Myla Pablo and Rem Palma working together for that net defense of the Petrogas Angels. I wanted to say flying together as angels, Doc AJ, but something told me don't say it.
But you still said it.
21-17 now, Pldt. Can never count anyone out in this professional volleyball league. 17 serving 21. Eli Soyud back in the ball game. Arado. Perez. Pablo on the cross. Iroa was there. Had to backpedal all the way. Perez back to Myla. Ooh, hindi umabot sa kabila.
Good intention for Pablo, trying to throw in a wrench and slow down the ball. Yeah. Kumapos lang.
18-21. Pldt still alive. Eli Soyud back at it. Ivy Perez. They go back to Pablo. Molde will send it over. Chance. Ivy onto Malabanan. And Rhea. No score right there. Pablo. And that is inside. Myla Pablo will score once more.
Myla Pablo looking to close in this game, not give any momentum back to PLDT.
3 points away from winning this match and back-to-back wins for the Petrogas Angels. Or can the PLDT power hitters manufacture a run? Fortunately,
Not with that. Not with that attempt. Open block for Eli Soyud. What a chance to seal the, or what a chance to earn a point.
2 points away for Petrogas. Excellent dig, 72 to 58. Catarado had a
Yeah.
lot to do with that for sure. Palma to serve. Eroa. They go to Isa Molde. She will score. It's gonna be interesting to see, no, Doc AJ, Isa Molde's growth in the pros, knowing that she has this type of responsibility for this squad. Go ba, how can you imagine her progressing as the next conferences go?
Well, she already has the foundations coming in from her collegiate stint, and it's showing here in PLDT that she's one of the go-to players. I think it's more of the consistency in being able to kill the ball whenever she's being set.
Same thing goes for Shola Alvarez. The lead is 3 points here. Timeout is called. Petrogas looking to close this one out. PLDT still hanging on. Try to force a fifth set. Volleyball action continues. This is match 22, day number 10, week number 2. I can say all these numbers, but all you have to remember is that from Sunday all the way to Friday, we have our PVL action live on One Sports and One Sports Plus. We missed it so much that we are not stopping. We're doing 6 days a week. And we love it. I know the fans love it as well, watching live. Miss time right there for Petrogas. And here comes Shola Alvarez. Great recovery by Eroa. From the back, Isa. Perez goes to Malabanan. Ball still alive. Di makulangan. Soyud. Attack error right there. That's the second time that it has happened for Eli Soyud.
Same approach, same location of ball into the net.
Now Malabanan with 4 match points for Petrogas. So it's Malabanan and Ivy Perez coming off the bench for the Angels, also contributing to this effort. Makulangan. They go back to Alvarez. Ivy on the run. Ria Meneses, who started this ball game on fire. Sino ba bang tatapos? Siya rin.
And definitely when Meneses and Palma are working in the scoring department for Petrogas, that's when they're operating at their best, because it's already expected that the opens like Saltones and Pablo will be delivering.
Petrogas Angels who win this game against PLDT. We'll take a break first. We'll come back to wrap this one up. Back here in the 2021 PBL Open Conference where the Petrogas Angels close out the PLDT Power Hitters in 4 sets. And sino pa ba ang magiging best player natin than the person who was able to start off very well for Petrogas, blocking her way through and then scoring eventually. She scored the last point. Ria Meneses coming up big once again for the Angels.
Yes, good number for Ria Meneses in set 1, 100% efficiency, and set 2 was a little bit more silent for her but made up for it in the third big time with 5 big points out of 7 attempts and 2 for 2 in the fourth set to close in the match. So for a middle with 16 points coming from 12 attacks, it's really good number for her.
16, 12, and 4. I love the way she rotates that whiteboard on cue. Alam niya yung timing, you know. Congratulations. Back-to-back wins for the Petrogas Angels as they go up to 3-1. Tomorrow, remember, we have more volleyball action coming your way. July 28 at 3 p.m. The Cherry Tigo crossovers facing the Santa Lucia Lady Realtors. And then, of course, more volleyball action will come after that. Your doubleheader for your Wednesday. The Bali Purist Water Defenders facing the Creamline Cool Smashers. Will there be another upset, or will Creamline get their 25th straight win in the Premier Volleyball League? In behalf of our director, Raul De Ocampo, our executive producer, Malu Neri, Ayi Tinsay, and my partner, Doc AJ Pareja. My name is Mix Gomez. Mabuhay ang bawat atletang Pilipino as we thank you for joining us here in 2021 PBL Open Conference, the first and only professional volleyball league in the Philippines.